Right, welcome back everybody. Now that interview we promised you a bit earlier. Some of South Africa's most respectable universities have dropped significantly in the QS World University rankings. The University of Cape Town dropped 20 places and is now at the 191st spot on the list for the 2016-2017 period, while Wits University dropped a notable 28 places and is now in the 359th position. Every South African university that is featured on this list dropped significantly in ranking, some universities even dropping by an astounding 100 places. Let's get an understanding of what's going on. The KZN studio is hosting Professor Deogratius Jaganyi. He is an executive responsible for submission of ranking data at the UKZN. Good to have you. Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Professor.
Thank you very much, Leanne.
Professor, I know that we're not here to talk about what's happening at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, but I think it would be amiss not to ask you about these violent protests that have been making headlines this week. What is the situation as it stands right now at UKZN?
The situation at UKZN at this moment, the Vice-Chancellor with a number of team of the executives are busy trying to negotiate with the students to be able to reach an understanding as to where we can be able to move forward. The students have made some memorandum of demands which have been looked at, and there's an impasse on 2 of those, and they've requested to be able to have council to intervene, and they've been given an opportunity on the 19th of this month. They will be meeting with the council, and we hope that we can be able to get to the bottom of some of these challenges and be able to move forward. But today, I think the VC and a number of the executive will be giving a full press release on the development on these issues. Okay. We certainly are not very happy with what is happening, but that's how we find the situation at UKZN at the moment.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it there for now and hopefully get more updates as you release that press release. But I imagine when any institution, and we just happen to be talking about this QS World University ranking, and you look at what's happening at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, the burning down of libraries, the burning down of hostels, and this can only but affect rankings of universities. I mean, I'm just using this university as an example because this is now in the headlines, but this obviously is adding to the woes of our rankings here in South Africa. Would you agree?
No, I do agree, because one thing you must understand, first of all, it is an achievement to be in the ranking, because remember that the QS does search about 3,800 institutions, and this year they have managed to be able to get 916 institutions to actually participate, to qualify to be ranked. So for South African University to make it into that cutoff is actually an achievement. What is going on will certainly be able to affect our reputation, because remember that there are 2 criteria that they use which are purely out of the survey, and these certainly will be able to have an impact in terms of how we are rated, also including that the number of international students that come to the university will certainly drop based on what they see on the TV, and that also certainly will have an impact on our ranking, including the international staff members who will have wanted to come to work in South Africa, not only UKZN.
How important is this particular ranking from the QS World University ratings? Is it something that is measured exceptionally or scrutinized, and decisions are taken thereof? How important are they?
The ranking is important. There are 2, I will simply say that there are 2 rankings which really have got world reputation. That is Times Higher ranking and the QS ranking. And it depends on how you use the ranking. At UKZN, we really don't chase the ranking. We use it to be able to monitor our own strategic plan, because some of the categories that they use for ranking really do speak to our strategic plans of the university. Something like staff-student ratio, something like the citation, all of these have got an impact in our own strategic plan, and therefore we use ranking to be able to make sure that we are monitoring our performance at an international level using the ranking.
if we have to sort of do something along the lines of what is looking at, and we're heading towards the news now, and I think this is a very important question. When we talk about fees at our universities, and we talk about some of the repercussions that have been discussed about not being able to choose and pick the best lecturers, we won't be able to pay the best fees. Also, the different units will not have the best infrastructure within them because the fees are under question right now. Do you think this will hamper South Africa's institutions, our tertiary institutions, or do you think that this would hold us in good stead? What is your interpretation of fees here in South Africa at universities?
I would like to simply say that at the university we certainly do support the issue of that education should be available to the people who are poor and those in the middle class. But at the same time, we also must understand that not being properly funded will certainly have an impact, because at the end of the day, staff-student ratio, it means the number of staff that we employ is going to decrease. That definitely will have an impact into our ranking. This research that we do, the citation that we do, those are all forming almost 50% of the ranking rating. And that will definitely have an impact on the ranking of the South African universities. The government must be able to find a balance of being able to make sure that the university are well funded for us to be able to remain in the top ranking of the institution worldwide.
Leave it there for this morning. Thank you very much for talking to us here on the program. That was Professor Deogratius Jaganyi from the University of KwaZulu-Natal talking to us about the rankings of the universities here in South Africa. Unfortunately, many of them dropping quite significantly in these rankings. Our top university still in South Africa, UCT, but it had dropped 20 places since its last assessment. Let's continue with some news.